Hey everyone! So today I'm doing a get ready with me, but along the way I am going to review some of the brushes that I got from December till January. This is kind of a review get ready with me, I don't know, I'm making it up as I go right now. I was thinking about doing the review after, but I thought I might as well do it while I'm doing my makeup so that you guys can see some of the uses of the brushes. So anyway, let's get into it. So first, I'm using this paddle brush that I got from Christmas. It came in this set called my makeup brush set. Prior to this, I already had a paddle brush set and I thought I'd just see if there was any difference. There is no difference between any of the fake paddle brush sets, and I guess it just depends on like the quality. What I like about this set is it actually says on the back what the uses are for. This one says powder brush. This one says foundation brush. This is the concealer brush, the eyebrow brush. So it's shaped kind of thin so that you could really just make lines. This is the lip brush. I don't know if I'll be using this as a lip brush. I've never used it as a lip brush. The blusher brush. This is a little too big for me as a blusher brush, if you guys agree. It kind of, I don't know. I just don't use it that way. And a nose shadow brush, very specific for this. I guess you could double this as an eyeshadow brush, right? I don't know. So this one, I can actually use this not just for powder, I can use it for skincare. So I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand. This is my moisturizer, and then I can mix that in already with my sunscreen. And then I kind of just mix that with my finger a little bit. And then I just like brush that over my face. And I like this because it just feels like a massage. And it does it so much faster than just with my hands. Now the problem of doing this is you might get some skincare stuck in the brush, but what I like about these denser brushes is that it doesn't keep that much product. That's why I tend to go longer without cleaning them, and then it gets so much harder to clean them. So now I'm going to put on my primer. Now I'm going to use this brush, which came from a brush set of 20. I will show you those in a minute. I like these kind of brushes because they just look like I'm painting, literally painting all over my face. These brushes are actually a set of 20. I got these off AliExpress just to try buying brushes off of them. And you know what? They're very average. So when I bought this, I was imagining having like a lot of backups to use for eyeshadows and stuff so I won't have to clean my brushes all the time. But I just find that these brushes aren't so good with applying eyeshadow. I end up not using these a lot, especially with the eyeshadows that are not so easy to work with. But I still do find some uses for them. I will be using some more of these later. So time for foundation. I don't know if you guys have been staring at it, but I have a really huge pimple here. So I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear just to get a little more coverage today to cover that up. Okay, so now I'm using this brush from my, I think these are called unicorn brushes. This is from a unicorn brush set. And I use this to just kind of like dab all over my face. I have been using this every day for my foundation just because I like how it looks. I kind of like that it's kind of like a sponge, but it's still a brush, so it's soft. But I do think that I will be going back to my real technique soon because this technique is actually very tiring. It does make my arm feel like it's gone through a workout after, which isn't such a bad thing, but it takes too much time. Because it's a brush and not a sponge, it can mold into the areas easier just to apply foundation in those nooks and crannies around my face. So that's why I like using this. And if you look really closely, there are not too many streaks, which I like also about this brush. So that's it for foundation. I will start with my concealer. You know what? Just for funsies, I'm gonna go back with that concealer brush. Here. So I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape, which is my favorite, as all of you know by now. I personally never use this as a concealer brush, so this should be exciting. I usually use my fingers for concealer, so this is very interesting. I guess I do have to put a bit more when I'm using a brush because this will eat up some of the concealer. So now I'm going to set that with some powder. I guess I will use the powder. The powder brush is too big. Maybe the foundation brush, just to set that. So I'm using the Srichand translucent powder. If you find yourself in Thailand, this is a great translucent powder. I'm not going to I'm kind of baking, I guess. This is what I do every day. I kind of bake, not completely, and then I do my eyebrows, I do my eyes before I brush this off. So this comes with that 20-piece set. I just use it to kind of like brush out my eyebrows before I go in with the tint. And then I use this Etude House Color My Brows tint. I don't know what shade this is in because this is not a full-size bottle, so the color doesn't come on the bottle. I'm not the best at applying this, I still get it everywhere. So now I'm going to use this brush from my Zoeva set. This is the brow line. I don't know what the name of this set is. I forgot because I asked for it for Christmas. I think it's, I'll put it somewhere here, but I think it's the 5-piece eye contour set. So I'm going to use this NYX Above and Beyond concealer just to clean out the lines on my brows with this. I like that this Zoeva brush that I use is thin enough to get into like the line and just give me that definition I want. I used to use this with my powders that used to when I had darker hair, and it would just help me get those exact precise lines that I like. I like using this more than using the one from the Unicorn brush set. This one is a little too small, so it takes me more time to get through it. This one, but if I do want to take a lot more time, this is perfect for that. I'm still on a 1 palette challenge for this month, so I'm using my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette again. So definitely gonna use these 3. These are still from the Zoeva set. This is the Luxe Petty Crease, the Luxe Soft Definer, and the Luxe Smoky Shader. I will use Stark. I just use that to go all over. I know it says smoky shader, but I just use it for everything. I guess because it smokes out the color, I don't know. So I always use this to go all over my eyes. And then I'm going to use this one, the Soft Definer, with Anaheim, just over the crease, just to give me more color, more definition. So one of the things that I don't like about this is sometimes these aren't as soft as I'd like. They get kind of sharp. I don't know, maybe like when the fibers fold and then, I don't know, it's just weird. And sometimes when I work this into a towel to like remove pigment, some of the fibers fall off, which I don't like. Now after, I'm going to go in with the Luxe Petty Crease brush, and I'm going to use Zone. So I've seen this technique, I've seen Pony use this technique where she kind of just like dabs it on her hand a bit just to get rid of, just to warm up the color, also to get rid of a bit of the excess instead of just like. So I'm working this color into the crease, just going for a very neutral look today. So that's it for that eyeshadow look. So just for the sake of doing this properly, I'm going to use the wing liner to do my eyeliner today instead of doing my usual eyeliner, whatever I use. Okay, so I'm going into Blackout for this. I really like this brush. It really is good for like if you're using eyeshadows because it's so precise. I'll put my mascara on off camera so I can continue talking about the brushes. I'm gonna use this big brush to kind of remove the excess powder from a while ago. This is also from the Unicorn set. I don't think I've talked about how I like the Unicorn set. This set is actually pretty good. For something that I bought off AliExpress, I really do like the quality and how soft they are, and they're just so cute. I decided that it was a little more expensive than the other brushes that I bought, the 20-piece set, but if I ended up not liking them, they would make a really nice decoration on my table. And well, I do like it a lot, especially because it's purple on the top, which I really like. So I use that to apply a little bit more translucent powder, and now I'm going to start with my bronzer. Oh, I ended up not using any of these for my eyeshadow there. Like I said, I don't necessarily like them for applying eyeshadow, but if I'm using a lot of colors, that's when I start to go into these. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer just to warm up my cheeks a little bit. I actually do have this nice kind of flat head brush, and I was confused. I didn't know what to do with it at first, but then I realized, oh, that's for contouring. And I like this brush for contouring because it just gives like that nice line, but not too defined. It kind of just looks like I have that bronze. So I'm going to go over that with Benefit Hoola, which is my Holy Grail bronzer. just a little bit to sculpt my cheeks a bit more. I find that I used to use this all over as a bronzer, but I find that just for contouring, this is better. This is something that I expected to happen because I was ordering this from AliExpress. But it's not that much of a problem. I mean, I could probably glue that back on, and when I'm applying stuff anyway, nothing happens. Because this pimple is right here on my cheek, I have to be more conscious about the blush that I put, but I'm not. So I'm going in with Tarte Amazonian Clay 12 Hour in Captivating. So with this one, instead of kind of like putting it on like that, I kind of dab it onto the apples of my cheeks, and then I just spread it out like that. But more on the apples, concentrating on the apples. That's what I use this for. When I need a bit more color, just focused here on my cheeks, which, you know, is wrong because I have that huge pimple right there. But that's it for the brushes. I'm just gonna finish up this look and then I will get back to you. So final verdict for the brushes. My makeup brush set, same as any of the paddle brushes that you'll find in Divisoria or Shopee. I would recommend actually just buying either one big one or like a set maybe of just the big ones, because the smaller ones are harder to use and they kind of feel kind of prickly when you use them. I've experienced that with all of these. And maybe this one is also pretty good because it's good for like lips, even though it says nose shadow brush. For the Zoeva set, I actually use all of them and I use them every day, and I really do like using these. So if you want to splurge on eyeshadow brushes, these are a pretty good one to splurge on. You can get these on Sephora.ph. For the 20-piece set that I barely use, I do not recommend you go for the quantity heavy ones on AliExpress. They end up either having all of the same kinds of brushes with like, they try to do like 2 versions, or they're just not really that great in quality. I do use them sometimes, but for the most part they kind of just fill up my vanity. I might give these away to someone else, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just like pick out the ones that I know I'll use. Finally, for the unicorn brush set, I do find myself using almost all of them except for this one maybe. I think this one is for going into the crease. I only use this once in a while because I prefer using the Zoeva ones. This one I end up using for adding extra highlighter on my cheeks after I use a fan brush. This one, as I said, I use to clean out my eyebrows sometimes, or put on my eyebrows if I'm using a powder. And the rest you saw me use on camera, so you know what they're for. This one gets so gunky right away, I should clean that out right now. So I would actually recommend that you go out and get these if you don't have similar ones already that you can use. I definitely would get them just for these two because I haven't seen these in other brush sets. Not even in Sephora. Maybe I just wasn't looking. I really like this one. It's so fun. Oh, but I will maybe start using this one again. This is the buffing brush instead of this one because it's just so much easier to just go around rather than tap, 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 tap. So that's it for this video. If you liked it or found it helpful, please leave me a like below. If you want me to talk more in depth about the brushes and make maybe like a full face challenge with one of the sets, please leave me a comment, let me know. Or if you have anything else to say or any other suggestions, leave me a comment anyway. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!